Everybody for coming out and supporting this event tonight. Obviously, I want to thank our host, Heidi Lesser. Where's Heidi?
Here I am.
Oh, there you are. You're so close. For lending her beautiful home in this very cozy and intimate roof deck, penthouse deck, whatever the right vernacular is. It's great up here.
Here's Heidi.
Thank you all for coming out and supporting this campaign, supporting my quest to become district attorney of New York County. For those that haven't been following this race and haven't heard me speak before, I'm fond of saying that this is I believe, one of, if not the most important races in New York City. As important, if not more important than the mayoral race, because whether or not we have Eric Adams as our next mayor, who at least is talking a decent game on law and order, or Curtis Sliwa, who of course always talks a good game on law and order, neither of those gentlemen will be quite effective if we have a radical progressive district attorney who has pledged, among other things, to stop prosecuting a variety of Alvin Bragg.
Thank you.
I don't like to give name recognition. Who has promised not to prosecute a variety of what we would consider either serious offenses or quality of life offenses. Among those, shoplifting. My opponent says that he won't prosecute any retail theft less than $250. That means if you're a store owner, people can come in on any day of the week and help themselves up to $250 of your goods, walk out and leave.
By the thousand.
For those who don't believe it or don't understand what this is, I would offer you San Francisco, Philadelphia, numerous other cities where these progressive, again, not Democratic DAs in the traditional sense of what a Democrat or any sort of moderate Democrat is. They're progressive DAs. I like to call them regressive because it's not progressive to say that you're going to undermine the foundations of our society, but that is in fact what they want to do. Unfortunately, they're succeeding in doing it in cities all around the country. That's why they have what they call open looting in San Francisco, Philadelphia, and other places. He's funded by the same folks that have backed the DAs in those cities. That's what's coming here if people don't act. It's not just retail theft, it's things like criminal trespassing, which he's also pledged not to prosecute. So what's a real world example of that? How many people here have children of school age, right? So what criminal trespassing...
No, we're still in the making.
Okay, well, congratulations. An example of criminal trespassing would be an unhinged person, an emotionally disturbed person showing up, letting themselves into your child's school, and then when asked to leave, refusing to do so. That's not robbery, that's not burglary, that's criminal trespassing. My opponent has pledged not to. Hi, how are you? I'm all for protecting animal rights, by the way. My opponent has promised that he won't prosecute that. He won't prosecute resisting arrest, disorderly conduct, harassment, violation level offenses.
Wow.
Assaulting police.
Look at Illinois law. It's insane.
That can be a component of resisting arrest. So it will marginalize the police, again, regardless of who the mayor is, and essentially make them just pretty faces walking the streets with little or no power. We've all heard much about the bail reform. When it was implemented, it was opposed not only by Republicans, but by many reasonable Democrats. Even many of the Democrats that did support it said, okay, we support it, but you have to add a public safety exception so that if the judge has someone in front of them who's demonstrably dangerous, as in last week they knocked out an old lady on the street and now they're back again for the same offense, the judge could set bail. That was opposed by the more radical elements in the legislature and the more radical lobbies like the political wing of the Legal Aid Society, who, by the way, my opponent sits on the board of. Check the website. So this is what is coming to our city if we don't get this election right. As someone who's practiced on both sides of the criminal justice system, I certainly understand the need for fairness. I've been a criminal defense attorney actually most of my career, a lot longer than I was a prosecutor. But I also know that a city and a society can't function without law and order, without policies that enforce the law, practice things like deterrence, and remove dangerous people from the street when they need to be removed. Without that, with my opponent's vision, I don't think there is any question that we lose this city, and we'll probably lose it for a generation, assuming we could ever get it back. And it goes well beyond Manhattan. We may have some folks here that don't live in Manhattan or don't vote in Manhattan, to think that we are going to lose America's city, right? That's what New York is, to a crime wave and a dysfunctionality like we've never experienced before. And then that's not going to reverberate not only through this region, not only through the boroughs, Westchester, Long Island, New Jersey, but really the whole country. They're just unfortunately not being realistic. So thank you for being part of this. The positive news is we're doing great. We're getting all sorts of media. Yesterday, New York One, NBC, the New York Times is dropping a feature article on me in my campaign either tomorrow or Friday. I hope the article looks good, but at least the pictures I think will look good. I spent 2 hours today at my headquarters, Central Park, walking the streets with a couple of wonderful Times photographers. So even if we don't like what they have to say, hopefully there'll be a good shot in there. Wall Street Journal on Friday, Fox 5, it's all coming together. The other side never thought we'd be where we are right now.
Make a pledge to protect New York.
Look, everyone wants to know that the race is not only well principled, but the candidacy is not only well principled, but we have a realistic shot. 2 out of 3 Democrats that came out in the primary voted against my opponent. He got 33% of the vote, a total of about 66,000 votes. I personally think that turnout among Democrats may be lower in the general, because a lot of them don't think they have skin in the game. I'm not hoping for that. Everybody should come out and vote, right? And I think that the ones that are going to be motivated to come out are the reasonable, moderate Democrats, which I firmly believe are most, having spent 6 months beating the streets in the city, going from neighborhood to neighborhood, and they're going to be willing to cross over and vote for change. Of course, there's registered Republicans in this town. They'll be there. Independents. I think we have a very realistic shot of taking the Manhattan District Attorney's Office and saving the city. That's what this is about. So thank you for supporting it.
Yay!
And at one point, Michael Henry is here. He's a great candidate for Attorney General next year, but his race is already he's already laying the groundwork. So thanks for being here. Hopefully, Mr. Attorney General.
Yay!
Yeah.
By the way, Tom, they said